What's up, folks at home? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about different ways to rig worms for summertime bass fishing. It's a lot of fun. We got some fish catches and underwater footage today for you folks, so strap up. It's going to be a fun ride.
All right, guys, let's talk about how we are rigging up these worms. First off, we are going to fish this worm differently from everybody. We're going to throw it on that Martin's Custom 1/4 ounce underspin, and Martin's Custom Baits does a fantastic job putting a sharp hook on this. They got a nice eye, they got a nice hold on this. Z-Man tends to be tough to rig sometimes, but this Martin's hook just straight up cuts right through it and holds it on there all day. The Z-Man worm is one of my favorites because you can catch it all day. Dave turned me onto these when he started fishing it on the upgrade jig head, and I've, expanded my tackle and a lot of different ways to fish it. So I'm going to fish this just like a swim bait. I'm going to swim it, I'm going to hop it through, I'm going to let it fall into potholes. A lot of different ways to fish the underspin worm. It's intuitive because it's like a big swim bait, but it also can function as a worm. A lot of times the worm is going to get bit when nothing else will in hot water. There's just something about a cut-tail worm in hot water that bass love to attack, they love to hit. Swimming a worm on an underspin is a fantastic way to change it up for fish and allow them to see something different. The second way that I like to do this, and I did a whole video on it, is Dum Worming. I'm going to throw it on the upgrade jig head. So here we have a 3/8 ounce upgrade. We know that 2X plated hook, that worm is tight in there. That Z-Man Elastec is going to stay there all day. I love this bait deep. If I'm fishing deep rock piles, this is a bait that I can throw because that upgrade jig head is going to come through everything. Those eyes look really, really good on this bait. And the thing that's cool about this is it's going to swim, it's going to destabilize and rock back and forth, and it's also going to sit up on the bottom like a giant Ned rig. On boulder fields in different areas of substrate where you can clack this along, it's gonna get bit. And the thing that's different is it's a worm body with a nice kicking tail, but it looks and feels like you're fishing a jig head. And when you're fishing a jig on the bottom, you can get some monster bites, but it's not going to be something that everybody else is fishing. This is a great way to get bit on deeper structure. Dum worming is something that I do all the time. Now let's flip 180, right? And sometimes we want to fish those boulder fields more effectively, but there's a lot of structure and cover down there that we're running into and snagging up on. So I'm going to fish it on the Rugby Head, or the swinging head jig. And the swing head jig does a great job when you're dragging this through rocks. You want that kicking tail. This bait is going to pop up on the bottom, but that swing head gives it a different look and feel. And a lot of times on a different look and feel, you can get bit. I figured this out fishing Cumberland for smallmouth. I ran out of craws that I was throwing on this, so I threw a cut-tail worm on the back just to see what would happen, and then I ended up loading the boat with some monster smallies on those deep spots because it's just something that fish haven't seen. Once again, on this channel, I'm a huge fan of fishing different ways that fish have not seen, and you can generate a ton of bites and do a lot of damage in certain ways when you fish things differently, and the cut-tail worm on the Rugby Head is a great way to do that. Now, let's move up shallow. One of my favorite ways to fish this bait, super shallow and super attentively, is once again on that ebb and flow hover rig. And the ebb and flow hover rig was built to hold Z-Man bait, so that bait's going to stay pinned all day, number one. And number two, it is a slow, tantalizing fall. What I'm looking for here, a lot of times in the hot water, fish are up shallow, getting more oxygen, and that hover rig really slows down that fall of that bait. It allows you to target ultra shallow fish with something that they haven't seen, and you can get some big ones. So that 2X strong hook on there is really going to allow you to put the steel to those fish, one, and pull them out of that cover, but two, it's just a different presentation that fish don't see a lot of. I like that green pumpkin black flake color up shallow because it looks really, really supernatural. And you can really tie into some big bass doing this. This is probably my second favorite way to catch them, behind a fluke really far up shallow, because it's just going to get bit. In every situation, that hover rig slows it down. It really comes through that cover nicely, and it twitches and pauses on the fall, and you can really just put the steel to some of these fish, and they won't even know what hit them with that hover rig. Finally, the way that I would fish this before I got the hover rig is I would buy these 4-0 hooks with a chin, basically a weight on there, right? It's a Texas rig. an extra wide gap hook, Texas rig basically, but it's got that chin on there, and it's going to cause a super slow fall. It's like 3/16 ounce, no weight at all. It's going to cause a super slow fall. You can swim this on top like a buzz bait. You can let it fall in potholes. But what is the advantage of fishing this worm this way is, literally speaking, it's just a different way to throw a worm than a lot of guys do. A lot of guys throw a worm on a Texas rig, unpegged or pegged Texas rig, and I like to change it up. So any way that you can be different presenting these baits is really going to be to your advantage. That slow fall is key a lot of times in hot water. So deep to shallow, I'm fishing those underspins, those rugby jigs, and then I'm going, you know, to that ebb and flow upgrade jig super deep, and then up shallow I'm fishing that hover rig, I'm fishing that Texas rigged worm. It's just a great way to get bit. It's a great way to make fish consider what's in front of them and look at it in a different light. If you guys like what's going on right now, head to the links, buy the stuff that we are presenting to you. Let us know in the comment section what you want to see from us in the future. Thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. We will see you next time.